First hit will be turned out by Tyler Sear.
Welcome to Integrity Home Mortgage Park at Kate Collins Field in Waynesboro, Virginia, in the heart of Virginia's Shenandoah Valley. It's June 16th, Father's Day, and on behalf of the Valley Baseball League and the Waynesboro Generals, welcome to this live stream. Tonight, the Waynesboro Generals host the Newmarket Rebels in Game 2 of a doubleheader. This live stream is brought to you by Sheetz. Sheetz is perfect for busy lifestyles, and they're open 24/7. So grab breakfast, dinner on the go, or a late night snack. With nearly 600 stores in 6 states, there's always a Sheetz near you. Sheetz, run and done. This live stream is also brought to you by Subway. Check out Subway's delicious new club collection, the new Steak Club, new Southwest Chicken Club, and the American Club. Subway, make it what you want. Hello everybody and welcome to Waynesboro. My name is Ty Comer. Glad you can be joining us today. And we're going to have a special guest come in later. They might provide a little bit of color commentary. It's a former general from the 2014 Valley League Championship team. We're excited to have Tyler Sear here back with us, and we'll tell you about him a little bit more once he gets up into the booth. He threw out his first pitch here tonight. Big kudos to Tyler. He also threw 2 innings today in Richmond. He's in Double-A. He threw 2 innings for the Flying Squirrels. They're in the San Francisco Giants organization. So he's thrown 1 more pitch today than what he had thrown when he left Richmond. But he's now visiting and watching the Waynesboro Generals and really loves and is excited to be back in Waynesboro. So we did have Game 1 today, and a loss that we took here in Waynesboro. The Generals lost 5-4 to the Newmarket Rebels, who are the defending champions from last year. They really couldn't get the bats going, and then got them in there late. And we had the tying run at third base, and we had the winning run out at second base. Just were not able to come up with that big 2-out hit that we needed for a walk-off victory. Well, here today, we will continue on with these Newmarket Rebels, and Game 2 is starting out right now. Kyle Decker will lead things off for the Newmarket Rebels here against Zach Kirby. Zach Kirby, the starter in today's contest from ETSU. First pitch from Kirby. Down low for a ball, and that gets things underway. 7:31 is your official game time. It's cooled down a little bit here, and we are going to welcome Tyler to the booth as he made a nice little sprint up from the first pitch. And we're going to get him all settled in here with his cords. I know there's a method to my madness, Tyler. It really is. It's a little sloppy in here. I apologize. Let's also get you mic'd up for the Facebook Live here as this pitch is swung on and missed. Count is now 1-2. Zach Kirby is ahead. Pin that onto your shirt there. And Zach Kirby with a 1-2 count to Kyle Decker. And the pitch is taken outside. So now we have Tyler Sear. Tyler, thanks for joining the broadcast booth.
Thanks for having me, Ty.
Excited to have you up here, man. 2014 Waynesboro General. You guys did bring home the championship under head coach DJ King. Talk about that experience.
Yeah, so you would think of your typical, cookie cutter championship game where straight dominating factor. Well, it wasn't that. Bottom of the 9th, I'm not sure, down 6 or 7 runs, 2 outs, and we scored every single run with 2 outs. And I was only a part of the team for a month, but Waynesboro treated me one in the gap right here.
Yeah, this one drilled the deep center field, and Kyle Decker starts things off with a double. And so not the start that the Generals were envisioning here in Game 2 of the doubleheader after taking the loss to these Newmarket Rebels. But as you were saying, those 6 and 7 runs with 2 outs.
Yeah, and it was electric. I want to say there's probably about 5,000 to 6,000 people here. It was very loud, very electric, and to be honest, this summer here and that game itself molded me to be what I am today, and not just what I am today, but what I want to be in the future. And Waynesboro treated me so right, and glad I could make it here. And that championship game was a blessing and one of the best games I've ever been a part of.
Sacrifice bunt attempt popped up right back to Zach Kirby. He'll take that one easily for out number 1. And Generals avoid getting man just 90 feet away. So, Tyler, you talk about that. You got a little bit of a late start here in Waynesboro.
Yeah.
You reported a little bit late to us. Got 3 games in under your belt, though, and 2 of those were playoff appearances. And I've got your stats here, and I'll read them out. 3 2/3 innings, and you had a 2.45 ERA, 6 strikeouts over those 3 2/3. You did walk 4 and strike out 6, or had 6 hits, excuse me. So what were you doing earlier in that summer?
Yeah, so actually early in that summer I was playing summer ball in California, and I went to go cover first and strained my groin. I didn't know what a groin was until I strained it. And that kind of set me back for the summer, hence why I showed up later here. And even when I showed up here, was still battling through it a little bit, was very transparent with the staff at the time. And we played things very slowly. And
this one ripped into right field, base hit for Joshua Cox. They're going to elect to keep the man at third.
Smart choice.
Throw comes in to home. Nice throw out there from the right fielder, Ethan Cady, also from ETSU, saving his college teammate maybe a run there. But so as you were saying, the injury bug got up and bit you there.
Yeah, definitely was an awkward injury. But when I came here, I was very transparent about what was going on. Based off my numbers, then you could tell that, I was nowhere near as talented as these young men on the field today when I was their age. And I think it's just a testament to show that, if you put in the hours of work and you put a lot of sacrifice forward, the sky's the limit. And it's very humbling to see where they're at because, wow, they're so talented compared to where I was.
Right. Well, Giovanni Lorenzo stepping in here. He's got the runners at first and third. But, we talked about it a little bit in pregame. You were from Embry-Riddle. You ended up graduating from the Aeronautical University there. And you were drafted in the 10th round by the San Francisco Giants. And you told me, you went into a dark place in the right way on when you came here and you saw all these guys that really had the same goal in mind of getting to that next level, and it really helped you transform to the player you are.
Yeah, definitely. I think that when I came here, for the short time I was here for about 4 weeks, I seen a lot of talent, and not that I haven't seen talent before at the time, but consistent talent. These guys were getting the ball every single day. They were throwing strikes. They were pounding the zone. The hitters were hitting hard balls. They were making competitive at bats every single day, and that's just something that I wanted to be a part of. And when I went back to Embry-Riddle at the time, I forced myself to go into a dark place and work harder, not just than the next guy, because you're not really competing against them. You're competing against yourself. And at that time, I worked harder than I ever did for those 5 months, and earned the respect of my staff there, my coach and my pitching coach and the players around me. And it was a very fun year.
2-2 count here to Giovanni Lorenzo, the catcher. He'll foul that one away. Still runners at first and third here. Kirby trying to work out of a first inning jam. And, Tyler, you talked about, the injury bug jumped up and bit you at Embry-Riddle a little bit. And then it did so again shortly into pro ball. I know you got you said you got a full year under your belt before being injured, though, correct?
Yeah, so I actually had 2 full seasons. When I got drafted, I went and played in Low A, which was in Augusta, Georgia. The following year, went back there. From there, got moved up to San Jose, which is High A, San Jose, California. And then 2017, the following year, started in Double A. Was blessed enough to stay healthy that year, and with the help of my teammates and great defense behind me, I had a good year there. Fortunate enough to be an all-star that year. And then
you tap her to third base, throw across the infield is in time, run will come in to score. It'll be 2 away with a runner at second base, but the Rebels do strike first. But so back to what you were saying, you did get to play in San Jose, your home state. You're from Fremont, California.
Right down the road, yeah.
6 foot, 395 pounds. You look like you're weighing in a little bit stronger of a number there now.
Yep. When you get to pro ball, you start eating a little better, and you start lifting. Have a little more time to lift some weight. So I'm sitting about 220 right now. It's probably my playing weight throughout the year. About 220, 225.
That's good stuff there. And then so now. What we were saying about that injury bug. So
2017, I ended up playing the fall league after the full season of AA, and something just wasn't right with my body. You know, I wasn't really able to feel the ball off my fingertips and repeat my delivery like I was. My arm slot started creeping up. Come through 2018, I had the chance to fulfill a lifetime dream and go play with the Giants in spring training and be around a ton of my heroes. And at that time, I was still a little banged up. But when you're in that situation, you kind of, you know, bite the bullet, so to say. And you know, it came to a point where I couldn't throw anymore. I ended up having an olecranon fracture in my elbow. Come you know, the end of May, the middle to the end of April, and you know, we went from there and ended up getting surgery June 1st of last year.
Well, you humbly skipped over that fact that you got to go play in that fall league where you were named to the, as you said, the Fall Stars is what they call it, with the Arizona Fall League. You are also a AA All-Star back in 2017. With the Richmond Flying Squirrels, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But talk about what an honor it was to get you into the All-Star game there in AA.
Yeah, I think it was a you know, a huge honor. I mean,
this one skied out into left field, and that'll be caught for out number 3. So the Rebels do strike for 1. They get 1 run on 2 hits and no errors. And we'll go to the bottom of the first. But Tyler, we'll keep you here, and we'll continue to talk baseball.
Definitely looking forward to it.
So we'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, cousins of course, mops and pops, or if you prefer, grandmas and grandpas, and baseball fans everywhere, welcome to the 2019 season of the Valley League. Before we get to tonight's game, let me let you know that these live streams are brought to you by Sheetz. Sheetz is perfect for busy lifestyles, and they're open 24/7, so grab breakfast, dinner on the go, or a late night snack. With nearly 600 stores in 6 states, there's always a Sheetz near you. Sheetz, run and done. This live stream is also brought to you by Subway. Check out Subway's delicious new club collection, the new State Club, the new Southwest Chicken Club, and the American Club. Subway, make it what you want. This live stream is also brought to you by Grace Burrows, New York Times best-selling author and baseball friend to the Valley Baseball League. Grace Burrows, she believes in love and baseball. Bottom line,
Back here for the bottom of the first inning, the Rebels tacked on 1 run in the top of the first on those 2 hits. And we'll go to the bottom of the first. Tyler Sear still here with us. And Tyler, first of all, thanks for you taking some time to come back here and speak with us here. And it's good to have an alumni come back, and we do have an alumni night later this season. To be determined, I guess?
No, it's scheduled.
It's scheduled, says Hannah. We'll find that out and get that date out to you. But the reason you're able to come here is you're playing in nearby Richmond still with the Squirrels, with the Flying Squirrels, as my buddies down in Richmond say, go nuts.
That's right.
And so you actually pitched today is what I've got here. 2 shutout innings, and you did give up an infield hit. So can't be completely perfect, I guess, as Brad Burkle squares the bunt and fouls that one off. But you were 96 to 98 miles an hour today.
Yeah, you know, I've been feeling great lately. Testament goes to all the people who have worked with me throughout this rehab process, and today was probably the first time I would say that consistently I was in, you know, 96 to 98 range. And it just felt great, you know, when the ball comes off the tip of your fingers and you see, you know, you're locating the ball well, and you got a really good defense behind you, and your catcher, you know, you're on the same page, and everything was just flowing great today. It was fun.
Good stuff. So he is with the Richmond Flying Squirrels. You're back at it, and you said that it's kind of bad luck for your teammates, but good luck in your situation that you became kind of the guy there in Richmond. So talk about that situation a little bit.
Yeah, we're so talented. You know, when it comes to our pitching staff, and not just our starters, but our bullpen, we have the best bullpen in the league by no. I don't think it's close. You look at our bullpen; we're stacked. Ball hasn't really bounced our way this year, early in the year, but now if you look at our splits now, I think our past 20 games we're dominating, and I think that's a testament to the hard work and communication that we have with our pitchers and our catchers, and it's just fun to watch.
Seth Kennedy, the first baseman in today's contest from Florida International University, gets hit by the pitch there as Brad Burkle was struck out on the first out. So we'll go to Bryson Worrell now. A big home run in that first ball game to get the offense going for the Generals from East Carolina University, with Kennedy waiting over there at first. But you talk about also the fans in Richmond. And I think it just goes to show you that Virginia as a state loves baseball. And you talk about how many fans were here in that Valley League championship game. Just the atmosphere of Waynesboro and what Waynesboro has meant to you over the years.
Yeah, Waynesboro will always have a special place in my heart. The love that I was shown here from the Price family taking me in and hosting me for that month, to the fans. You ask anyone, you go to travel baseball or summer baseball when you're a collegiate athlete, you're getting fed hot dogs, pizza. If not, you're gonna have to call Little Caesars after the game and get your own. Here, it's not like that.
Right.
Here you get families cooking you home cooked meals of their favorite dishes, and that's just, you don't find that anywhere else. And I think Waynesboro as well as Richmond has a great passion for baseball. And it's unbelievable.
While we've been talking, we had Seth Kennedy moved into second base on a wild pitch. He had a nice dirt ball read on. Then Bryson Worrell wore one off the legs just now. So a little bit of a struggle with command is Gregory Strickland. He's the starter for the Rebels today. And now that'll bring up Wes Clark, who's been one of the hottest hitters for the Generals, hitting .457 in the early going. One of the top power guys as well. So, Tyler, I'd love for you to provide some commentary as well, man. So anything that you're seeing that you want to point out, feel free to do so.
Definitely.
And another hit by pitch. It's 3 in a row now off of the arm of Strickland. So that'll load the bases for Ethan Cady. Cady, the right fielder tonight from ETSU, looking to get that run back and possibly some more tacked on to it. Possible big run inning here for the Gens.
Yeah, I think here you kind of just look for as a hitter taken until you get a strike.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I think this guy's struggling a little bit with command. All breaking balls, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. You would think that, especially with a guy that's struggling with breaking balls, would start going to that heater a little bit. But I guess not all of us have that 96 to 98 in the arm like the man sitting to my right here. But
didn't always have it. I can tell you that. Didn't always have it.
So let's go back to that surgery on your broken elbow, or what was the technical term there?
It's called an olecranon fracture. It's above me.
Right. It's above my pay grade.
Yeah, but when they took images of it and they said, "Hey, this is what's going on," I have faith in the people who surround me and the doctors that we chose to go perform the surgery to fix me up, and everything went well. I think that everything happens for a reason, and I think that at the time I was at the pinnacle and the peak of my career, and I think I got served a pie, and it's called humble pie.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a bad thing.
Right.
I think that during adversity, I think you either become, you fold and you become, your same person, or you grow. And I think that during that time of adversity, I became a better person overall.
Well, able to work out of the windup now, and he delivers a first pitch strike to Ethan Cady. So a good mound visit there from the coach by the Rebels. But they do have a guy warming in the pen already. 0-1 count. Big swing, and this has popped up in the infield. Looks like it's going to stay in play. It's going to be ruled as an infield fly if it would have stayed fair, but no matter. It is out number 2 on Ethan Cady, so that'll bring up Santiago Garcia. So a fly ball to the first baseman. Santiago Garcia from Alabama State, after starting the year 1 for 11, is now hitting .344. the Mink League MVP last year.
Alabama State boys can hit.
He can do that, but this time, ground ball to short, and it'll be a fielder's choice, and that will end the inning. Well, after one complete, Generals load the bases, not able to get anything done. No runs, no hits, no errors. We'll go to the top of the second. And Tyler, hopefully you'll stick around for one more.
Yeah, definitely.
At least one more.
Yeah.
You could stay
One
as long
more,
as you want, man.
Yeah, I'll be here for one more.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right, we'll be back in just a moment here from Waynesboro at Integrity Home Mortgage Park at Kate Collins Field.
So at Sheets, we really exist to make people's lives easier every day. In this moment, we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to connect with some of our lucky fans to help make their dreams come true. How are you? I'm Ryan Sheets. Here's a brand new truck for you, man. A once-in-a-lifetime dream vacation to Turks and Caicos. Have you ever been there?
No, I've never been anywhere.
A check for $25,000.
This is a testament to why everybody should be a Sheets freak.
Take me out to the ball game. Oh, wait, we're already here.
Barry Lee and Katie G, hoping you're enjoying the old ball game and inviting you to join us each weekday morning from 5 to 10 a.m. on your 92.5 Wink FM.
All right, we're back here with Tyler Sear as we go to the top of the second inning. After that fielder's choice that ended the inning off the bat of Santiago Garcia, the 6-3. It'll be Alvaro Valdez leading things off for the Newmarket Rebels. But I want to talk about, you said we can possibly mention it, but I want to go ahead and put it out there. You're probably going to be an all-star at the AA level again this year, and that's in July, right?
Yeah, I'm not really sure the exact date, but I think it's in July.
Pitch just misses inside off the arm of Zach Kirby, who looked to try and sharpen things up a bit. He gave up those 2 hits, and that was enough to get that 1 run on the board for the Rebels back in the first. Valdez with a big swing and a miss.
And coming late to the season like I did, I'm not sure if an innings limit has to do with any of that, but
right.
I want to say I missed almost a month of the season, if not less than a month.
You're talking about this season for the Flying Squirrels.
Yeah.
Impressive, and still putting up all-star numbers. And we talked previously. You're not just the closer; you do a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So, like I said, our bullpen is stacked. I mean, we have 8 closers in our bullpen, so that's a beautiful thing to have. And with that, comes versatility. You're gonna have to be versatile. So with that, you're gonna have to go multiple innings. You're gonna have to come in tight spots early in the game with runners on. You're gonna have to come in, get 1 out. You're gonna have to come in with the game on the line. And I think that's something that we all thrive and want to do.
And this one fouled away just out of play. The new batter in there, Brendan Rimbert, the DH in today's contest. And Zach Kirby has done a nice job this inning at getting ahead of hitters, not allowing a lot of hitters' counts. Rimbert's down 0-2. Pitch rides inside, and they're going to say it got him.
Oh, it didn't get him.
From hearing the groans from the other side of the press box, I don't think they agree with the call either. But
that's a mistake.
We'll go down to first base anyway. And so have you? That brings me to another point. Have you had to deal with a lot of replays and things like that at the major league level?
Yeah. So actually, we haven't really done it much. When I was in spring training with the Giants, there was no such thing. There was crews there, and them themselves would evaluate certain plays and practice it, but there was no booth reviews. Nothing like that was going on during spring training. In AA, it doesn't happen. In AAA, it doesn't happen as well. But personally, I think it kind of slows the game down when you come to the minor league level, AA, AAA. I don't think it should be a factor in the game. Major league level, yeah, I think it should.
Right.
Because those games are very, very important when it comes to certain things.
Are you of the old school mindset that human error is part of it?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you that it goes both ways.
Right.
When it comes to the automated strike zone, vice versa, pitchers want it because it's more consistent. I get it, but at the same time, hitters want it because it's more consistent. I've watched tons of games on TV where pitchers are thrown and they're in the box and they're called ball. I
Runner
think
off
that
with the pitch and a stolen base. This one gets into center field, and over to third base goes Brandon Rimbert. And boy, the Generals have had a tough time at controlling the Rebels' running game today. 5 stolen bases in that first game, and now another one here, and he's going to move all the way up to third base on the throwing error by the catcher, Wes Clark.
Yeah, just up the line a little bit. Yeah, like I said, I'm completely for the human error. I think that it goes both ways. I've thrown a ton of pitches, and they're in the box and they get called balls. Vice versa, I've thrown borderline pitches and they've been called strikes. I think that baseball is great because of the human error when it comes to the strike zone. I would have to differ when it comes to a play at first base,
right,
or a foul ball or a home run. I think that that's something that we should be able to look up because those are runs.
Yeah, and those are really
Yes.
big time stat
Yeah.
numbers. Those are your what's the word I'm looking for? Negotiating power as a player. This one tapped on the ground to first base. Kennedy looked up before he had it, and this one's going to get into right field. Well, he was looking to see if the runner was coming home before it got to his glove. That'll go as an E3, and another run has scored. And boy, the Generals have not looked sharp tonight. But yeah, so now we talk about all these new ways to incorporate new viewers. We're trying to grow our game a little bit. And so have you, now I'm pretty sure I've heard that they're doing a pitch timer.
Yeah, they are.
Correct?
Yeah, they started that in 2017. Was it? No. So they started in 2017 in the fall league while I was playing there. So that was the first time it was incorporated. In 2018, it was incorporated in AA and AAA. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really notice it. Today, I mean, the clock is right behind home plate, so it's hard to miss.
Right.
Even when I take my time today and grab the rosin and take a couple extra breaths, I look up and the clock is still at 6 seconds.
Right.
And that's as I'm towing the rubber, seeing my sign. There's a lot of ways to, if you must say, finesse the system to where you would come set and then step off right away. It restarts it. So if anything, I think it's more of a tool to speed up the game.
Right.
I think it may speed it up. At the major league level, I know for sure it would, because I've been at home bored off my mind, and I'll pull out my phone and start a timer, and guys won't be in the box at 25 seconds.
Right.
And so I'm not sure if they're going to incorporate it there, but I know at the AA level, every time I get the ball and I look up, the guy's in the box ready to go.
Yeah, and it's that's another part of it. I feel like it's not just a pitch counter, but it also gets those hitters back in the box a little bit quicker.
It does. Yeah, even in 2018 when I was in the spring training with our big club, every time I looked up, the guy was ready to go.
Right.
And I faced veteran hitters who take their time. Pujols is the guy who always takes his time. He has a good routine. He always takes his breath. He visualizes, and then he's ready to go. Even with him, when I looked up, he was in the box.
Right.
So I think that it will speed up with some guys. Make them, hey, get in the box. You can't try to slow the game down, kind of thing. And I'm all for it, honestly. But with the automated zone, I don't think I'm completely sold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I feel like, and there's so many problems with technology anyway. I feel like if things go haywire, then what do? You don't have an umpire there for something like that. And this one swung on and missed. Zach Kirby going to get his second strikeout of the day, and we'll go back to the top of the order. It'll be Kyle Decker who doubled to start things off here for the Rebels. So, all right, you were in the 2018 spring training with the Giants.
Yeah.
who's your biggest, I guess, hero? You said you had some heroes on that team. Who's your biggest hero from that team?
Yeah, I mean, a laundry list of guys, you name it. I was blessed enough to be, from the Bay Area, been in San Francisco, watched a ton of games there, and family members have had season tickets right behind the bullpen.
Nice.
Which is down the third base line, and yeah, tons of good memories. I would have to name the whole roster from guys who were on that team and previous guys. The biggest memory for me would probably be walking in and seeing guys like Madison Bumgarner, Buster Posey, Pablo Sandoval, Hunter Pence, Ryan Vogelsong was still there. He was hanging out with us, being a mentor. Obviously, the skipper, Bruce Bochy, who this is his last year. Just being, and you can even go off the other spectrum with guys who weren't there but are legends in baseball. Evan Longoria, Derek Holland, Sam Dyson, guys who, Mark Melanson, guys who have dominated the game for years.
Cool, man. That's awesome. But a called third strike ends the inning here of Kyle Decker. And so 3 strikeouts in that inning. Strikes out the side. We'll go to the bottom of the second after the Rebels pick up another run on no hits and an error made by the Generals. Tyler, it's been nice having you on, man. I don't know if are you planning on staying for the bottom half? Okay, all right, cool. All right.
Full inning baseball, that's what we do. Yeah,
that's right. That's what we do here. All right, cool. So we'll have Tyler for the bottom of the second when we return.
Take me out to the ball game. Oh, wait, we're already here.
Barry Lee and Katie G hoping you're enjoying the old ball game and inviting you to join us each weekday morning from 5 to 10 a.m. on your 92.5 Wink FM.
Back for the bottom of the second inning. Jack Murphy, Jackson Green, and Christian Profit will be set to do battle against Gregory Strickland, who delivers a first pitch ball to Jack Murphy. Tyler Sear still here with us, and Jack is going to drive this one out towards left center field.
Well hit ball.
Good hit ball from the left-hander into the left center field gap, and it's going to be a leadoff double for the Generals.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching this game here, you could see that their starting pitcher is struggling to throw any off speed for a strike, so you're dead red fastball. Anything that pops out, you're not even swinging. He's not throwing it for a strike, and obviously you could see that's what that young man did there. He hit well.
Yeah, Jack Murphy. It's good to see Jack get going. We had a situation with his mother. He's staying with the Lundstroms, and she texted him after a nice play that Jack made in the Charlottesville game a couple of days ago and said, "Hey, are you watching? Jack just made an unreal play." She said, "Did he finally get a hit?" And that's tough love from his mom, but he had struggled a little bit in the early going, but it's starting to get it going now. Had an RBI single last night and adds a double here today.
That means mama cares.
That means mama cares. That is right. 2 balls and no strikes to Jackson Green, the Florida State University commit, playing third base today. But you mentioned it, struggling with command. And there he gets that curveball over the plate.
Daring to do it again.
On a 2-0 count, no less. That's why I have trust issues. 2-0 curveballs. Another curveball. This one out into right field. We'll have it for out number 1. And Jack Murphy will attempt a tag and will not be a throw. So good piece of hitting there. Got the job done for Jackson Green. And gets Jack Murphy into third base. And that'll bring him up for Christian Profit. Profit with a good year going so far. The shortstop from Florida Gulf Coast University. Trivia question here, Tyler. Do you know probably the biggest name to come out of Florida Gulf Coast? It's tough. I'm telling you, college baseball is tough.
Can you give me a position?
Yeah, he's a left-handed pitcher.
Left-handed pitcher, biggest name to come out of Florida Gulf Coast. What team does he play for?
The Boston Red Sox. Price went to Vandy.
Yeah, so I know it's not David Price. It's the new guy who's there, Vasquez.
No,
what's his name?
It is Chris Sale.
Oh, Chris Sale. Wow,
Yeah.
I can't believe I got that one wrong.
It's all right. I'm telling you, it's tough to keep up with college baseball as we've got the College World Series going on right now. But it's tough because there are so many different places that you can be drafted from, and I think that's a testament to if you work hard, and a testament to how hard you worked from Embry-Riddle, an NAIA school. Mm-hmm. That's down in Florida, correct?
Yeah, Daytona Beach, Florida. Yeah.
That's a cool place to go to school.
Yeah, it was. It was sweet. And not just because of the location. I mean, I played with a great group of guys both years. Coaching staff was unbelievable. Student group and faculty was just as good.
Fly ball into center field. This will get the job done. Jack Murphy comes in to score on the sacrifice fly by Christian Profit. Profit was hitting .357 coming into that at bat. We'll keep that at bat, or keep that average, as that high fly ball gets the job done, and the Generals will score their first run.
Yeah, and baseball wasn't the only program to win at Embry-Riddle. My first year there, that was our first year in 4 seasons that we lost double-digit losses in 4 seasons. That's a testament to how much they win. And you could go up and down the board with all of our sports, and they were very, very competitive. And I think that's contagious. I think that's the culture here in Waynesboro that they've created as well. A history of winning. And I think that's something that can't be taught.
Right.
I think that's something that has to be earned.
Okay, so we talked about your biggest heroes that you played with. Now, who's the biggest name that you had to face in that spring training?
I mean, Albert Pujols, Mike Trout.
Unreal.
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, Shohei.
I think that's how you say his name. He was on deck, didn't face him. Chris Carter. There's just so many talented baseball players out there that you see in spring training, and majority of them don't get going, the big name guys till the end. So being a younger guy myself, I got started early, and then kind of shut down towards the middle of spring training to the end. But it was a great experience.
Well, speaking of a great experience, it's been great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you, Ty.
Enjoy the rest of your time here in Waynesboro, man. And we always love bringing back former Generals, and any other time you're in the neighborhood that you want to come back and talk to us, and maybe we can have you on even longer. So
I appreciate that.
Thanks for coming on, Tyler. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you for your time.
All right, the Generals tie things up. They pull a run closer, 2-1, after the sacrifice fly by Christian Profit. We'll go to a small break, and we'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
7 o'clock first pitch.
We're back here in the top of the third inning. Leadoff hitter Joshua Cox in there. Boy, really enjoyed talking with Tyler Sear, the former General. as that pitch is in there for a strike. Still trying to get things all caught up here, but as we mentioned, it is the third inning. The Rebels lead 2-1. As I fix the scoreboard here. Pitch misses for a ball. Makes the count 2 balls and 1 strike. But a huge lesson for all you kids out there listening or watching or however you're taking in this experience, as that one's fouled straight back off the bat of Joshua Cox, is that you can make the pros from anywhere, okay? You don't have to be that big-time D1 commit. If the D1s don't come calling, maybe JUCO's your route, or maybe Division II, Division III, NAIA, whatever you think. You can be drafted from anywhere. If you have the talent to be drafted, you can be drafted from anywhere. As this one is also fouled off. Count stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes for Josh Cox. Cox already 1 for 1 in this contest. He's gotten his batting average up to 285. Part of the reason for that is he was 2 for 4 in the day game of the doubleheader. Pitch misses outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Zach Kirby still out there. Has only allowed 2 hits, but they both came in poor situations. Or excuse me, I mean Kyle Decker had the double and then Joshua Cox drove him in with the single. This ball on the ground across the diamond. Jackson Green shuffles and the throw across is in time for out number 1. The Generals have also not been the cleanest team in the world to this point. They have made 2 errors. It's something that they are not accustomed to seeing. Usually pretty sure-handed. They make about less than 1 per game. They've already made 2 here tonight. So it'll now be Giovanni Lorenzo stepping to the plate. Ball on the ground to shortstop Christian Prophet deep in the hole. Throw across is in time for out number 2. Sweet play from Florida Gulf Coast. Prophet, always a fun guy to talk to after a game, win or lose. When we feed the teams on away ball games, he's become known to me as the Devil Dogs guy. He always comes looking through these little pastries. He likes the Devil Dogs over the Tasty Cakes. A lot of guys go with the Tasty Cakes, but not Prof. He's going for the road less traveled, and he's going to get those Devil Dogs. But Samuel Frontino swings and misses at the first one for strike 1. As we mentioned, 2-1 here in the third. That one also in there for a strike. Beautiful night here at Integrity Home Mortgage Park, as this one is skied into center field. Worrell started back. Won't have to move much after that. And we'll take in the fly out for a quick out number 3. Much smoother that time around for Zach Kirby. We'll go to the bottom of the third. The Gins will try and even things up and maybe even pull ahead in the bottom of the third from Integrity Home Mortgage Park in Waynesboro, Virginia.
Having a third for the Rebels. 3 up, 3 down.
So at Sheets, we really exist to make people's lives easier every day. In this moment, we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to connect with some of our lucky fans to help make their dreams come true. How are you? I'm Ryan Sheets. Here's a brand new truck for you, man. A once-in-a-lifetime dream vacation to Turks and Caicos. Have you ever been there?
I've never been anywhere.
A check for $25,000.
This is a testament to why everybody should be a Sheets freak.
Back here in Waynesboro for the bottom of the third. 2-1 your score.
First baseman set.
Generals were able to get that run in the last go around. Jack Murphy with the double to left center to start things off as Seth Kennedy takes ball one, and Gregory Strickland took quite a tumble there on the mound. He's going to have to smoothen things up out there for himself as he works to Seth Kennedy. Kennedy, 423, check swing. This one stays in fair territory. Throw down to first base is going to be in time. We don't see that very often. He check swung, and this one just dribbles right out in front, and it'll be a 2-3 put out for out number one. And Seth Kennedy is retired. Bryson Worrell will step to the plate. He's 0 for 0, was the second of 3 straight hit by pitches by Gregory Strickland in that first inning. Worrell has already made a name for himself here in Waynesboro. Delivered the first home run that the Generals have hit at home this year, back in the first game of this doubleheader today. Pitch is in there for a strike. For Worrell, he was 1 for 3 today. He's also walked. This one's skied to center field. Over is the center fielder, and he'll have it for out number 2. Well, it'll be Wes Clark stepping to the dish now. As we mentioned, he was hit by a pitch in his last plate appearance as well. Wes with a .457 batting average. It is up there. Pitch down low for a ball, and look at there, even catching and delivering it back to the catcher on that pitch that was in the dirt. His .457 batting average is up there in the league leaders. We'll see if we can find exactly how high up there he is. This one fouled off at the plate, as was the last pitch. So now it's a 1-2 count to Wes Clark. Well, of the people that have enough at-bats to qualify, Jimmy Goldsmith is hitting an unbelievable .625. Unbelievable. This ball stroked on the ground to shortstop. Makes a nice play across the diamond in time. Smooth fielding hands there from Coscarella. And that'll be out number 3. Wes Clark ranks second, by the way, as we go to the break. 2-1 your score. Rebels on top of the Generals here in Waynesboro.
Bottom of the third for the Generals.
So at Sheets, we really exist to make people's lives easier every day. In this moment, we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to connect with some of our lucky fans to help make their dreams come true. How are you? I'm Ryan Sheets. Here's a brand new truck for you, man. A once-in-a-lifetime dream vacation to Turks and Caicos. Have you ever been there?
I've never been anywhere.
A check for $25,000.
This is a testament to why everybody should be a Sheets freak.
Pedro Castellano in there to lead things off. And he's quickly down in a count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Still Zach Kirby out there. We're in the top of the 4th. Pitch swung on and missed. Castellano is tagged out. It'll be the second time he has been retired today. has really put charges into baseballs all day long today. Flew out to Jackson Tate 3 times and then finally got one to drop in front. But all 3 of those fly balls that were caught by Jackson Tate, they were all smoked. So that brings in Alvaro Valdez. As I said, we're here in the top of the 4th from Integrity Home Mortgage Park.
Left fielder, Alvaro Valdez.
1-1 count with 1 away. Alvaro Valdez 0 for 1 today. Pitch is in there for a strike. He was sat down on strikes in his last time up. Valdez did not play in that first ball game. So playing in the nightcap of the doubleheader out there in right field. This one skied straight back over top of our heads for a foul ball. Some fans looking back there having me worried. If you listen to our first broadcast, you'll know that I parked a little bit closer, and that pitch misses in the dirt, but parked a little bit closer today and yesterday for our home games than I usually do. And Coach Cole called me out on it yesterday saying I'm a brave man for parking there. And I haven't really thought about it until I saw a couple foul balls going back that way, and a couple of fans looked back and said, ooh, as that one might have hit something, but hopefully it's not mine. Ground ball to third base. Jackson Green across in time to retire Valdez, and that'll be 2 outs in the inning with Brandon Rimbert coming to the plate.
The designated hitter, Brandon Rimbert.
Kirby has retired his last 7 as he takes on Rimbert. The DH in today's contest takes in there for a called first strike. Well, Rimbert in that first ball game, 1 for 2. Did have an RBI in that one. Pitch up high for a ball. Now 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 away in the inning. Kirby really trying to finish this one in style as well, keep his team in this ball game. Both of those 2 runs, well, one came on a double and then was later scored on a ground out. But the other, as that one is in there for a called strike to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The other was an unearned run. He struck out the first guy in the 2nd inning, then hit the 2nd guy, and then after an error by the first baseman, Seth Kennedy, he came in to score. This one fouled straight back off the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Zach Kirby out on the mound trying to get through this top of the 4th. And a bit of a quick pitch there from Kirby, and it really jams up Brandon Rimbert, but he does manage to foul it away. Usually Kirby comes through and he has the high leg kick that time. His motion went a little bit quicker because he just went into a slide step once he started his windup. This one he slows it up a little bit more, pauses, and then the pitch. Fouled straight back. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Kirby really varying his motions to the plate. This time more of the regular that we've seen from him, and that one misses inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Great at bat here for Brandon Rimbert here in the bottom of the top of the 4th. Excuse me. This will be the 9th pitch of the at bat coming from Zach Kirby, and the payoff pitch with 2 away in the inning. Fouled straight back. Has fouled off quite a few pitches in this at bat. Has fouled off 4 of them. Will work now a double-digit at-bat. Double-digit pitch at-bat, that is. This one's skied in the air out to right field. That's Ethan Cady going back. He'll have it for out number 3. And that will do it here for the Rebels. So So we'll go to the bottom of the fourth after Zach Kirby retires his 8th in a row. 2-1 still your score as we go to the bottom of the fourth from Integrity Home Mortgage Park at Kate Collins Field.
Hey baseball fans, Graham Knight here with the Valley Baseball League, and I want to take a second to introduce you to a close personal friend of mine, Grace Burrows. She's a New York Times best-selling author. She's also a close personal friend of yours, even though you may not know it. In fact, without Grace's help, we would not have been able to bring you the playoffs and championships last year. Thanks to her, we were able to cover every single game. And thanks to her, this year we had all the gear we need to support 11 different sites throughout the Shenandoah Valley. Take a second and look at her latest book, When a Duchess Says I Do. Grace Burrows. She believes in love and baseball. If you can't find romance on the baseball diamond, take a look at graceburrows.com/bookshelf. And if you've already got the love of your life, good for you. Drop Grace a line and let her know that you really appreciate her help with these live streams. It would mean a lot to her. Now back to the action.
Ethan, Katie, Santiago Garcia, and Jack Murphy due up in this inning for the Generals. Katie struggling at the dish a bit so far this year, batting 130. 6'2", 200 pounds from East Tennessee University in Soddy Daisy, Tennessee. Sent to do work off of Gregory Strickland. Strickland, 5'11", 185-pound righty from Brown University. A guy that is an Ivy League guy from Raleigh, North Carolina. Just finished up his freshman year there. First pitch swung on by Katie, popped to the first baseman yet again in foul territory, and he'll have it for out number 1. I say yet again because that's the same fate that Ethan had in his first at-bat. So it'll be another P3 or F3, whatever you want to call it. That'll bring up Santiago Garcia. Santi was pinch hit for early in that ball game. That first ball game, he was 0 for 1 to that point. Pitch is outside for a ball. He was catching at that point, so Eli Quiseno came in to catch. And that took Santi out of the game after just 2 innings. Probably to keep him sharp for this night game, and he hits this one down the third base line. Sweet play by Castellano, and the throw is in time. Well, that is a big league play there from Castellano. Diving, or more of a sliding attempt back to his backhand in the hole at third. And throws across to get Santi Garcia. So robbed of a hit. A star next to that one in the scorebook. Gonna bring up Jack Murphy. Jack 1 for 1. Had a double to start things off back in the second. He's the only run for the Generals to this point. 1-0 count from Strickland. Hit well down the left field line, but it's going to hang up too long. And the left fielder will come in and make the play. That is a nice running catch from Cox. That will end things for the Generals here in the bottom of the fourth. To the top of the fifth we go. Generals still trailing 2-1 here from Waynesboro.
Greetings, sports fans. Graham Knight here for the Valley Baseball League. Just want to let you know that the good news is that thanks to a hotspot and a cell phone, we're able to bring you video of these games. The bad news is, thanks to the hotspot and the cell phone, it's not always stable. Listen, we've got some reports of some glitchiness in the feeds. some audio issues. We're working to resolve them, but what I wanted to do is ask your help in this process. If you're having trouble receiving the feed, first of all, we want to hear from you. Would love to know what game you're watching and what time and what inning the game is in so we can go back and check it. Second of all, what I want to do is ask you to run speedtest.net. That's speedtest.net. Don't buy into any of the stuff. Just click go. It will give you a PNG number, a ping number. It will give you a download speed and an upload speed. Let us know what that number is. That's a big help. We're trying to identify where the problems are. Problem could be with our wireless network on its way to you. The problem could be on Facebook, that there's not enough bandwidth to process the various games. The problem could also be on your end of it, not enough download speed for you to see it. So you need at least 5 megabits per second, 5 megabits per second when you get the speed test. So anyway, what I want to do is ask for your help, let you know we're working diligently to fix all 11 sites so that the games we bring you are free of technical difficulties, but I need your help. So let us know. Drop us a comment, and we appreciate your help, and just know we're working diligently to resolve all of the issues so that in the very near future you get an uninterrupted experience. Thanks to the hotspot and the cell phone, we're going to make that happen. And thanks to you for your help.
For the Generals, the new pitcher is Matthew Mercer. Pitching his third game this summer. He's thrown 2 2/3 innings. He's given up 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 1 walk, and has struck out 4 with a 3.37 ERA. So for Matt Mercer, he steps on for his teammate Zach Kirby in college. Both ETSU athletes. Matt Mercer, 6 foot, 190 pounds, from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Be a left-handed hurler.
Leading off in the top of the 5th inning, the first baseman.
And the first man he'll face is the left-hander, Noah Bailey. So 4 innings out of Zach Kirby. He did a nice job for the Gens. Really a bad luck loser to this point, as the first pitch from Mercer misses down low for a ball to Noah Bailey. Mercer comes set, and the next pitch to Bailey is swung on and missed. Bailey didn't play in that first ball game. Let me tell you a little bit about him. He is a left-handed hitter, 5'11", 185 pounds, from Northwest Florida State College. That pitch misses outside for a ball. Excuse me, it was a called strike. This pitch misses low, so now evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Northwest Florida State College, just finished up his freshman year there. He's from Niceville, Florida. Sounds like a nice place. Pun intended. Pitch is in there for a called strike 3, and Matt Mercer strikes out the first man he sees. That'll bring up Ryan Cuscarella. Cuscarella has played a smooth shortstop to this point, but did strike out in his first plate appearance back in the 2nd inning. Batting .214 for the Rebels to this point. But really, it's been a bit deceiving with that 190 batting average coming in. They had won 4 ball games. They won their 5th today, so they're now 5-7. The Generals have dropped to 6-4. Pitch is in there for a strike. And we previously mentioned that the Tom Sox might be on their way to their 5th straight loss to the Purcellville Cannons, but in fact, the Charlottesville Tom Sox walked off on the Cannons to snap that schneid that they had been on. That one is fouled straight back. Now 0-2 the count to Coscarella. But the Tom Sox are back in the win category. They are now 7-5. This one was swung on and missed. So Mercer has come in and made quick work of the first 2 batters as we go to the top of the order. Kyle Decker. Decker 1 for 2. Had that double to start things out. Came around to score. And he struck out in his second plate appearance back in the second. That was on a called third strike. Mercer looking to strike out the side. Well, we always mention Kobe Lopez when we talk about guys that have come over to the Generals from the Rebels last year. But Matt Mercer is another one of those guys that has done so. He was the team leader in wins for the Rebels last year. A lot of wins that were spread out throughout the year. I mean, Matt only had 4 wins for the Rebels last year, but that was enough to lead the team. And he gets a called first strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away here in the top of the 5th inning. Pitch. Check swing, but it's a called strike anyway for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors so far for the Rebels. 1 run, 1 hit, and 2 errors made by the Generals. This one fouled off, just barely got a piece, but it also got a piece of our home plate umpire. I believe that's Mark Yoder down there. Another 1 ball, 2 strike count from Matt Mercer to Kyle Decker. Pitch misses down low for a ball. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes, evens the count. .836 here in Waynesboro, but it's still 84 degrees outside. Still pretty muggy. And I talked to Tyler Sear in between innings about how Virginia is just a different heat. He's from California, and he knows it gets hot out there, but at the same time, this pitch just misses for a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. But in California, it gets hot out there, but it's more of a dry heat. When you get here to Virginia, it's more humid and muggy, and that has not always been good for me. I'm a big-time sweat guy. Ball fouled down the first base line. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Decker working an at-bat here. This will be the 9th pitch. Trying to become the 2nd New Market batter in the last 2 innings to get a pitch count to double digits, and he'll do so with a foul ball here. So the next pitch he sees will be number 10 in the at-bat from Matt Mercer, who's still looking to strike out the side. That tells you it's been a long at-bat when Mark Yoder goes to the dugout needing baseballs because of so many being fouled out of play. Well, after tonight, the Generals will be off tomorrow night. They'll be back in action on Tuesday. This pitch fouled straight back. That action on Tuesday will be on the road in Purcellville again. So we'll go back up to Northern Virginia. We've made that trip pretty early this year. You only play the Northern Division teams, I believe, 3 times, and that pitch just misses. Not sure where. Might have stayed up high, but Kyle Decker will work a nice at-bat. 11 pitches in that at-bat, and he reaches first base via the walk. It'll be another lefty-on-lefty matchup. Josh Cox steps in. Cox, the left fielder. In the first game, Cox hit in the 3-hole. He was 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. Pitch is in there for a strike. Mercer right back in the strike zone. No balls, 1 strike. Kyle Decker at first. Not a whole lot of speed. He does have 1 stolen base. Pitch is in there for a called strike 2. 0-2, and Josh Cox not in agreement with the call there from Mark Yoder. They'll have a couple words. An 0-2 count nonetheless from Matt Mercer. Mercer comes set, long set. We'll take a look at Decker in the pitch. Decker was off at the pitch, but this one will get foul down the third base line. What has definitely been a part of the storyline, the Generals have not been able to control the running game of the Newmarket Rebels. They stole 5 bases in that first ball game and have already stolen 1 today. Or this evening, I should say. No balls, 2 strikes. Mercer will check on first base and attempt to do as I just mentioned, and he'll try to control that running game a bit. Mercer looks in for the sign. He's looking for that put-away pitch here. The 0-2. Fastball down. Misses for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Joshua Cox. Cox from Louisiana Lafayette. I think that's where the Ragin' Cajuns, I think that's what their names are, the Ragin' Cajuns of Louisiana Lafayette. But he's from Thornton, Colorado. This pitch in the dirt, and that's going to be another stolen base. So something they'll definitely have to address with both the pitching staff and the catchers. A full battery talking to is in line after this ball game. Has 7 stolen bases in just 2 ball games. Not something that you like to see if you're Zach Cole. This one fouled away as well. Mercer still struggling to get that out pitch here. He's been down to his last strike for quite a few pitches in this inning to try and get out of it. As Kyle Decker worked that 11-pitch walk. Mercer will come set again. He'll try it on 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, runner at second base. Here's the pitch, and fouled away. And again, Kyle Decker was off with the pitch. So it might be a matter of, there's a bunch of different things that the Rebels could possibly be seeing. One, it's maybe they're going off the throwing arms of the catcher. Maybe they're going off of the pitchers going with a certain amount of looks to a base. Maybe it's the pitchers taking the same amount of time in between each pitch when they come set. There could be a multitude of different things, or they could just be running wild, and that's what they have been doing. But this pitch, a called strike 3, so Mercer will in fact strike out the side. We will go to the bottom of the 5th. The Gens need to get going here soon. 2 runs, or excuse me, no runs, no hits, no errors in that inning, but the Rebels lead 2-1 here from Waynesboro.
Mark your calendars now. The Valley Baseball League's All-Star Game is Sunday, July 7th, right here at Veterans Memorial Park on the JMU campus. Please plan on taking in all the action. While the game starts at 7:30 p.m., the fun starts at 3:30 p.m. with batting practice. The 60-yard dash and home run derby starts at 5:20. Tickets are $5 for adults and $3 for kids ages 3 to 12. And if they come in uniform, they get it for free. So mark those calendars, Sunday, July 7th, 7:30 p.m., right here in Veterans Memorial Park. You don't want to miss this. Come and join us and see tomorrow's superstars play.
New pitcher on for the Rebels. Logan Morrison now out there. Logan Morrison, if you heard me mention earlier in the ballgame that I'm from Luray, Virginia, well, I share the hometown with this guy, Logan Morrison from Luray, Virginia. currently at Concord University, 6 foot, 192 pounds. Now, he played at my rival high school against my little brother. He's the same age as my little brother, who I might go ahead and mention that is now playing for the Woodstock River Bandits. So I'll be excited to see him. That first time those two teams match up. It'll be on Wednesday. Pitch from Morrison is outside. This is also a new hitter. This is Kobe Lopez stepping in to pinch hit. We'll take outside for ball 3, so quickly ahead 3-0. Kobe had a tough one in that first ball game, but he's going to walk here. Walks on 4 straight pitches. He was 0 for 4 in that first ball game, had a couple of strikeouts. He pinch hit for Jackson Green just now and has moved his way to first base on a 4-pitch walk by Logan Morrison. Christian Profit now set to do battle. Christian is 0 for 0. He had a sacrifice fly to center field back in the second to drive in the only run for the Gins so far. Pickoff move not in time. Pitch is in there for a strike to Profit. Kobe Lopez over at first base. Leads the team in stolen bags. He has 4. Has also been caught stealing twice. But both times that he's been caught stealing, it's because he got an early break. And the pitchers just had to step off and throw the ball into second base. He actually has a stolen base because of that as well. That was in Charlottesville, where he took off early. The pitcher stepped off but delivered a low throw to second base, and Kobe slid in time. But when Kobe has timed it up correctly, he's only been thrown out twice. A long pause there from Morrison. I think he was trying to draw a time call out of Christian Profit, who would not oblige. So finally, Logan Morrison decides to step off. He's trying to freeze the runner, Kobe Lopez. The pitch to Profit is bunted straight up in the air, and the catcher is going to come out and make the play for out number 1. That's something we've seen from both sides here early, not able to get down some sacrifice bunts, and that's a big situation to not be able to get down the bunt. As that would have put a runner into scoring position for the top of the lineup. And we're going to have a pinch hitter here as well. So Brad Burkell will take a seat, and it'll now be Elijah Quiseno pinch hitting. So we'll have to keep an eye on the defensive replacements.
Number 12, Eli.
But to this point, I'm guessing Kobe Lopez will go into second base, so he'll basically switch with Brad Burkell, who's been subbed out. Elijah Quiseno, I'm not sure where he'll go. Pitch in there for a called strike. We haven't seen him do anything but catch here for the Generals. In that first game, we mentioned he subbed in pretty early for Santi Garcia. He ended up going 0 for 3. Did have a run batted in, though. Pickoff move to Kobe Lopez, not in time. No balls, 1 strike, 1 away. Here in the bottom of the 5th. It's getting late. Gins need a score to at least tie this thing up. Morrison comes set. And the pitch. Lopez off with the pitch. The throw down to second base is not in time. Stolen base for Kobe Lopez. So there you see it again. Kobe with his 5th stolen base of the year when he's taken off on time. He has not been thrown out to this point. So they get that runner into scoring position by other means now. Eli Quiseno will hit with a runner in scoring position. This ball hit well towards right field. Right fielder is back and will have it. But here comes Lopez digging for third. He's going to be in there. Good hustle play there from Kobe Lopez. And he'll take the extra 90 feet. And they're going to say that he left early from second base. They're going to say he left early, and we're going to have a double play. Coach Cole out having a conversation. But I got a feeling this one's not going to end up going too well for him. And it won't. So Kobe Lopez will be called out. We'll have a double play. Well, I'll be honest with you. I did not see that one coming. Mostly because
Top of the fifth for the Generals. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. You know, the top of the sixth, it's still the Rebels 2 and the Generals 1.
Mostly because I wasn't expecting Kobe to take off. Let's see if we can figure this out here. Double play. First batter that was put out was the hitter Quiseno by the right fielder. Next out was on Kobe Lopez, and that was thrown to shortstop, then tossed over to second base. So it goes down as a 9-6-4 double play, and that will end the inning. Now Connor Norby will step into the ball game, and he'll play third base. But Kobe will go play second. So Norby subs in for Quiseno, and will play third. Here's a defensive replacement. And the first batter in this inning for the Newmarket Rebels is Giovanni Lorenzo, and he takes a call at strike one. This one hit well out into right center field. Long run, but the play is made. Looks to be Jackson Tate out there now in center field. That's another replacement that we'll have to see if we can figure out. Because originally, for the Generals, the center fielder was Bryson Worrell. Cannot tell. I think Worrell has now moved to right field. So basically what will happen here is now Jackson Tate will sub in and play center field. And Bryson Worrell will go to right. Pitch from Mercer is outside. That's now 3 balls and no strikes. One away to Samuel Frontino, the second baseman. He'll take a called strike. He was the third baseman in the first game of the doubleheader. And then Pedro Castellano was the second baseman. Now they've switched positions. Pedro, who's on the on-deck circle, is playing third, and Frontino is playing second. Pitch in there for a called strike. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away. Pitch from Mercer fouled straight back. Mercer in there has not allowed a hit to this point. Has struck out 3. Gotten a fly ball to center and has also walked 1. Looking for maybe his 4th punch out here. We go to Samuel Frontino, who's flown out to the outfield twice, but this one's going to be inside. It'll be the second walk of Matt Mercer's outing. So that will bring up Pedro Castellano. Pedro from the University of Central Florida, left-handed hitter. Set to do battle against the left-handed pitcher. Ball is not in time to second base. You have to excuse me, I didn't quite see what happened there. Looking down, changing the scoreboard because I had realized I was behind. So that'll go as a fielder's choice.
Right fielder, Alvaro Valdez.
So that play goes as a fielder's choice with nobody put out, and that one is a ball. So first pitch swinging caught me off guard there for Pedro. So 1 ball, no strikes now to Alvaro Valdez, the right fielder. Pitch back up the middle off the glove. This is going to have to go to first base. A nice play there from Profit to record out number 2. Well, Mercer tipped that a bit, and you wonder, would it have been better for it just to let it go? But a pitcher tries to get anything he can, and he did a nice job there. So it'll be out number 2, and it'll go as a 6-3 put out with both runners advancing. So now both runners in scoring position with 2 away here after the ground out by Alvaro Valdez. And that'll bring up Brandon Rimbert. Rimbert, 0 for 1 to this point, was hit by a pitch and scored a run. Pitch runs outside. Rimbert, 0.95 batting average coming into this contest. Has struggled a bit. As we mentioned earlier, did have a base hit. He was 1 for 2 in that contest with a run batted in. Pitch swung on and missed. Count now 1-1. Rimbert, 5'9", 185 pounds from Alcorn State University, Pensacola, Florida native. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike count. This one also fouled off the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 away. We don't want this lead to get any bigger here in the 6th if you're Matt Mercer, so a big pitch coming here. This ball game has been briskly played, one that you would expect to be briskly played with only 3 combined hits. 2 hits for the Newmarket Rebels, 1 hit for the Generals. This one fouled off and swung through for out number 3. So Mercer will pick up his 4th strikeout of his outing, also stranding 2 runners. We'll go to the top of the 7th, 2-1. The bottom of the 6th. 2-1 your score, the Rebels on top of the Generals.
Top of the 6th for the Rebels, no runs. No hits, there's 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 6th, and the score remains.
Hey baseball fans, Graham Knight here with the Valley Baseball League, and I want to take a second to introduce you to a close personal friend of mine, Grace Burrows. She's a New York Times best-selling author, but she's also a close personal friend of yours, even though you may not know it. In fact, without Grace's help, we would not have been able to bring you the playoffs and championships last year. Thanks to her, we were able to cover every single game. And thanks to her, this year we had all the gear we need to support 11 different sites throughout the Shenandoah Valley. Take a second and look at her latest book, When a Duchess Says I Do. Grace Burrows, she believes in love and baseball. If you can't find romance on the baseball diamond, take a look at graceburrows.com/bookshelf. And if you've already got the love of your life,
941. 219-941. You got that ticket.
Well, here we go in the sixth.
$65. 219.
And the Rebels are turning to one of their top guys out of the bullpen.
50-50 winner. Come on up.
Be the big, tall righty.
You won $65.
Austin Elliott, 6 foot 295 pounds from Mount Olive College. He's from Alexander City, Alabama. He's a junior. So far to this point this year, 5 games out of the bullpen, 7 1/3 innings pitched, 4 hits given up, no runs, 5 walks, 10 strikeouts in those 7 1/3 innings. He's got a 0 ERA. So one of the top guys for the Rebels will come in and do battle against Seth Kennedy, Bryson Worrell, and Wes Clark. Good time to get things going here for the Generals. If they don't at least get the lead here, it'll be a walk-off situation that they're trying to get into in the bottom of the 7th. They almost were able to do so in the last ball game, but a strikeout with the bases loaded and 2 away was the final out, and the Rebels pulled home their 5th win of the game. Now they're on their way to possibly bringing home a sweep of the doubleheader, leaving here 6 and 7. This one fouled straight back. No balls, 2 strikes to Seth Kennedy. Kennedy today 0 for 1. And then during the day, in the day game of the doubleheader, he was 1 for 3. He's gotten his batting average up to 423. Getting just his 3rd plate appearance here. He goes sidewinder action there, and this one popped out into right field. And it'll be out number 1. Seth Kennedy retired.
50-50 winner was Melody. Congratulations to 50-50 winner, Melody.
Well, here's Bryson Worrell.
The center fielder, Bryson Worrell.
Worrell, 0 for 1, has been hit by a pitch and also flown out to center field. Tallied his first home run of the summer in the day game of the doubleheader. Pitch in there for a strike. Would be a great time to tie the team lead. Wes Clark leads the team with 2 home runs. This ball down in the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away. It's going to be an extremely tall task off of Austin Elliott. As we mentioned, one of the top guys out of the bullpen. Has pitched in 5 games, has not given up a run yet. And you can see why as he continues to change his arm angle, and that's really tough for a hitter to pick it up out of his hand. If one pitch he's throwing over the top, the next pitch he's throwing 3/4, the next he's going sidearm. He's gone all 4 of the major arm angles. He goes over top with this one, and this one's in there for a strike. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. If a batter doesn't pick the ball up out of the pitcher's hand, and believe me, it's not always that easy to do, especially with a guy that changes his arm slots so often. You're getting a late jump on a guy that's throwing hard enough to make it hard to hit as is. That one misses down, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The full count pitch. Swung on, fouled off at the plate by Worrell. Offense has struggled here today. basically all day. Only 6 hits in that day game, and they've totaled a whopping 1 in this one. And that was the double by Jack Murphy. Pitch. Got him looking. Strike 3. Well, the second out of the inning has now been recorded. And we'll go to Wes Clark. Well, most of the time, if you're thinking about a guy to get the offense going, this would be the one. Wes Clark stands in. He's 0 for 1. He's been hit by a pitch.
The catcher, Wes Clark.
And is also grounded out to shortstop. Wes Clark from the University of South Carolina. Pitch in there. 4 strike 1. Elliott looking sharp again here tonight. Goes sidearm with this one. Slider misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away in the inning. As we mentioned, that batting average for Wes Clark, good enough for second in the league. 457 batting average. This one's stroked up the middle, and he'll add to that 457 average with yet another hit here today. We were talking to, well, I was talking to Hannah last night, and we were just talking about how good Wes Clark really is. I mean, it's been unbelievable to watch to this point. And this will be Jackson Tate, who, if I'm not mistaken, subbed in to center field as a defensive replacement in the 6th, and then moved Worrell over to right field for Ethan Cady. And so he is now hitting for Cady. So this will be Tate's first at bat in the night game, and it'll be hit by a pitch. So after looking sharp for the first 2 outs of the inning, Elliott has given up a single and now hit by pitch. Santiago Garcia will step to the dish with a runner in scoring position, 2 away. And we're going to have a mound visit. Jack Murphy's on deck. And then it'll be the newly inserted Kobe Lopez after him if they can get to that point. We are here in the bottom of the 6th. Santi 0 for 2 to this point. Grounded into a 6-3 fielder's choice, as well as grounded out to third. That was the one with the star next to it in the scorebook. That was Pedro Castellano with the sliding play down the third base line and then delivering the throw in time to first base to get Santi. Stole a hit away from him. So hopefully Santi comes up with a bit of revenge on his mind here. Gens really need to get this offense going. 2-1 the score. 2 hits for each team. 2 errors made by the Generals. First pitch in there for a called strike to Santiago Garcia from Alabama State University. And you heard Tyler Sear talk about it. Those Alabama State boys can hit. Pitch also in there for a called strike. Santi has gotten his batting average up to 344 entering today's contest. He was 0 for 1 in the day game today before being subbed out after just 2 innings. This ball tapped back to the mound. Elliott will flip to first base in time for out number 3, and the 2-out threat goes by the wayside for the Generals. We'll go to the top of the 7th inning, and the Newmarket Rebels will look to add on some insurance here in Integrity Home Mortgage Park at Kate Collins Field.
Mark your calendars now. The Valley Baseball League's All-Star Game is Sunday, July 7th, right here at Veterans Memorial Park on the JMU campus. Please plan on taking in all the action. While the game starts at 7:30 p.m., the fun starts at 3:30 p.m. with batting practice. The 60-yard dash and home run derby starts at 5:20. Tickets are $5 for adults and $3 for kids ages 3 to 12. And if they come in uniform, they get it for free. So mark those calendars, Sunday, July 7th, 7:30 p.m., right here in Veterans Memorial Park. You don't want to miss this. Come and join us and see tomorrow's superstars play.
Well, the Generals will turn to Eric Sapp to try and keep this score right where it is, 2-1. Eric Sapp from Gannon University. He'll get action in his third ball game. This will be the first time out of the bullpen. So far, 2 games, 2 starts. He's thrown 9 innings, given up just 9 hits, 2 runs, both earned. Has walked 1 and has struck out 13. So good strikeout numbers. He's 1-0 on the year with a 2.0 ERA. So Sapp got a good summer going so far. He'll look to maybe add on to that with a nice relief appearance here this evening. For Sapp, he's a big dude, 6'4", 240 pounds from Gannon University. He was from Deerfield, Ohio. The guys that he will face for the Newmarket Rebels will be Noah Bailey, Ryan Coscarella, and then it'll go back to the top of the order where he'll have to face Kyle Decker. Quickly played ball game. 2 hits for the Rebels, 2 hits for the Generals, and just 3 runs apiece. So it's gone quickly because there just hasn't been a lot of action. And here comes Noah Bailey, the first baseman in this contest. And the first pitch from Sapp, lefty on lefty, will be a check swing foul ball. And Sapp's outing is officially underway. Noah Bailey, left-handed hitter, 5'11", 185 pounds from Northwest Florida State College. Pitch down low for a ball. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. Generals trying to keep it at 2-1. This will be another situation where if they win this ball game, it'll have to be in a walk-off situation. Trying to avoid being swept in the doubleheader today versus the Newmarket Rebels. Pitch is in there for a called strike. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the Rebels entered today 4-7. They could possibly walk away from this thing at 6-7. Record looking a whole lot better. Generals entered today at 6-3 and are possibly slipping, to 6-5. Pitch is down low for a ball. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. That 6-5 record is what Charlottesville entered the day at today. We were thinking they were going to 6-6 with 5 straight losses, but pulled out that walk-off win over Purcellville. Speaking of which, let's check some other scores around the league for you while Sapp's making this pitch. This one fouled down the left field line and out of play. So elsewhere in the Valley League, we mentioned that walk-off victory. Not only was it a walk-off victory, it was Charlottesville 17, Purcellville 16. So a lot of runs being scored in that one. This pitch misses down low for a ball. Harrisonburg already took down the Front Royal Cardinals. That game started at 6 o'clock. Boy, that game went quick. An hour and 48 minutes. Turks finished them off 8-1. And obviously, the 5-4 loss that was suffered by the Generals here today. Top of the 7th inning, Woodstock's on top of Strasburg 8-4. 4-1, the Covington Lumberjacks lead on the road at Stanton. This is going to be a walk from Sapp. And then Front Royal is on top of the Harrisonburg Turks in the second game of that doubleheader. They're up 4-2 in the top of the 3rd. So a leadoff walk that Sapp will have to try and work around. It's now Ryan Coscarella. Excuse me, no it is not. It is now Ramon Machado pinch hitting. He squares around a bunt and will foul that one away. General's pitching staff has done its job. Most of the time when you go 7 innings only allowing 2 hits and 2 runs, you expect to be the winner in that contest. It has not worked out that way to this point. Gens are going to have to score at least 1 to stay alive in the bottom of the 7th. Machado squares the bunt again, pulls this one back. Now leaving the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. In the day game of the doubleheader, Ramon Machado hitting the 9-hole. He was 0 for 2. Did score a run. Another pickoff move, not in time. Sapp switched up the moves a little bit there. Machado was still squaring as well. He's still planning on bunting, it looks like, in the 1-1 count. Machado batting for Cuscarella, who has struck out twice. This bunt gets down. It's in a perfect spot. Sapp tries to barehand it, but bobbles it, but still gets the runner at first base. And I don't know if Machado had pulled up a little bit on that one, because I thought he might have a chance to get a base hit there, but is satisfied with his sacrifice bunt that moves up the runner from first to second.
With 1 out,
It's going to be a 1-3 put out for the first out of the inning. And that'll take us back to the top of the lineup. Kyle Decker. Decker 1 for 2, has doubled, scored a run, also struck out and walked. So runner at second base, 1 away. This one foul, out of play over onto the hill. I thought it was interesting when Tyler Sear was here talking with us that he talked about how many fans he thought were here, 5,000 or 6,000 people. That might have been a bit of a stretch. It might not be 5,000 or 6,000, but when we fill the hill here in Waynesboro, it can get quite rowdy. Good atmosphere to play baseball in. We got an 0-1 count here to Kyle Decker. And we're going to have time called as Sapp was taking his time, trying to control the running game. Count, and here's the pitch. Down low and maybe a little bit away for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 away. Here in the top of the 7th, Eric Sapp out there in his first inning of work. Father's Day contest. Sapp winds and kicks. Misses outside. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, wherever you may be watching or listening from. I'm glad you're spending your Father's Day listening to us here in Waynesboro. Unfortunately, I wish we would be talking about some wins that we've had today, but we're going to have to settle for maybe just 1. This ball back to Sapp. He's going to throw. He's got the runner at third base, and he's going to have him out at third base. So the throw went to Christian Profit, the shortstop. Profit throws over to third base for Norby, who tags out the runner. So this is going to be a weird scoring play for me, so prepare for me to go silent a bit. And we're going to have a fielder's choice. The runner at second base was put out, and then it went 1 to 6 to 5 for the putout. So how about that?
The 2 down, that brings up number 22, Jonah Seegers.
So now Josh Cox will be pinch hit for. It'll be number 23, Jonah Seegers, who led off for the Rebels in that first game of the doubleheader. He was 0 for 4 in that contest, had a bit of a rough one. But he's back in there now. From Virginia Tech, Pitch outside for a ball. Seegers, 5'10", 185 pounds. Sophomore from Gainesville, Virginia. He's a Northern Virginia product. Long pause again by Sapp, controlling that running game, and gets Seegers to swing through that one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away. Sapp has done a nice job at working around that leadoff walk that was then sacrificed to second base, especially on that fielder's choice, having the presence of mind to turn and keep that runner close to second base, and he was way too far off, so a good throw into second base, and Christian Profit was able to deliver the throw to third base, Connor Norby, in time. After a pickoff attempt, we'll reset and do it again. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jonah Seegers. Seegers 133 batting average to this point. Pitch in there. Called strike for a 1-2 count, 2 away. Giovanni Lorenzo waits on deck, the catcher. He was 0 for 3 today. Be a lot of 0-fers in this lineup with only 2 hits for each team. And the pitch from Sapp. Way outside for a ball. Now that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Reduces Wild, 2 outs. I'll be honest with you though, for a guy that has to write 2 recaps, or maybe 1 recap with 2 games built into it, this game should go pretty easily. Not having to describe a whole lot. The pitch. Wow, not sure where it missed. 3 ball and 2 strikes now after home plate umpire Mark Yoder decides that one didn't cross the plate. Looked pretty good from my angle, but that's why I'm up here and not down there. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Runner at first will get a head start. Sapp's pitch hit well out into left field. It chases back the left fielder. He'll make the play. That's Jack Murphy out there to retire it for out number 3. Well, the Generals will need 1 more run to stay alive here in the bottom of the 7th. Rebels on top, 2-1 from Integrity Home Mortgage Park.
Hey baseball fans, Graham Knight here for the Valley Baseball League. Just wanting to give a shout out to one of our newest sponsors, Stephen Toyota. Stephen Toyota is in Harrisonburg, Virginia. They've been an avid sponsor of the Harrisonburg Turks for years. I want to let you know that I'd buy a Toyota from them, and I'm thrilled to introduce them to you as our Southern Division sponsor. That means every time a team from the Southern Division, whether it's Harrisonburg, the Stanton Braves, the Waynesboro Generals, the Charlottesville Tom Sox, or the Covington Lumberjacks, whenever they play anywhere, you'll be seeing a Stephen Toyota commercial in those live streams. We couldn't do these live streams without him. So a warm welcome to Stephen Toyota from Harrisonburg, Virginia. If you're looking for a car and you're anywhere near Harrisonburg, please stop in and see Ryan. Let him know that you appreciate his help with these live streams and take a good look at their inventory. I love what I saw there, and I got to be honest, one of my favorite cars was a 2009 Camry Hybrid. I sold it to a guy after 150,000 miles. He called me back about 7 to 8 months later to thank me for selling him that car. He'd actually gone another 50,000 miles in it and was just putting a new set of tires on it. So if you're into Toyotas and you're anywhere near Harrisonburg, give our newest sponsor, Stephen Toyota, a good look. Thank you, Ryan. It's great to have you on our team.
If you're buying, you gotta see Ryan at Stephen Toyota, where every new Toyota car, truck, van, and SUV is smile priced now to save you more. And every certified used Toyota on the lot is also smile priced at Stephen Toyota, where you get more for your trade, more credit options to help you get approved, and exceptional service after the sale, too. If you're buying, you gotta see Ryan at Stephen Toyota.
back here for the bottom of the 7th. The first pitch to Jack Murphy missed outside for a ball. As we mentioned, the Generals will need at least a run to prevent being swept here at home in a doubleheader with the defending champion Newmarket Rebels. This Rebels team was off to a slow start, but a sweep of the doubleheader could really get things going, get them back to 6-7, just a game under 500, and really pull them tighter in that Northern Division that really has not had an established leader to this point. That one's a called strike on the outside corner. Now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jack Murphy from St. Mary's College, where he plays for the Gales. Pitch swung on and missed. Jack Murphy will go down on strikes. And it'll be up to Kobe Lopez now. Well, it works out pretty nicely here having Lopez in the 8 hole, pinch hitting for Jackson Green.
For Kobe Lopez.
Because now Kobe can serve as that leadoff guy that the Generals are really going to need. As well as Christian Prophet, who hasn't had the greatest ball game to this point. He's been quiet. His first pitch is swung on and popped high out into left field. And it is caught for out number 2. So the Generals are down to their final out. It'll be up to Christian Prophet.
He now brings up the shortstop, Christian Prophet.
Christian Prophet, Connor Norby on deck. And if they can get it back to Seth Kennedy, Kennedy, one of the hotter hitters in the lineup. A shortstop from Florida Gulf Coast stands in, takes the first pitch in there for a strike. We just saw a huge save picked up from Jeremiah McCollum in that last ball game where he came in with the bases juiced, only up 2 runs with nobody out. Ends up coming out of that just giving up 1 run and picked up the save for the 5th win of the Newmarket Rebels season. Pitch is also in there for a strike, and now the Generals are down to their last strike. If it holds this way, win should go to the starter Gregory Strickland. Loss would go to the starter Zach Kirby. And the save would go to Austin Elliott, who has been sharp since coming in. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Here's the pitch. Down low for a ball, and we're going to fill up the count. 9:30 here in Waynesboro. Still a beautiful night. Still a hot night, too. Temperature really hasn't dropped much. You see everybody out there still in their short sleeve shirts. They've been treated to a briskly played ball game, and the 3-2 pitch misses up high. The tying run will reach base. And now striding to the dish will be Connor Norby. Norby yet to record his first base hit as a General, but no time would be better than right now.
Number 6, Connor Norby.
You got a good hitter on deck in Seth Kennedy if you can get it to that point. Connor Norby also a pretty good hitter himself. That's how he got himself to East Carolina University. And if you missed the game earlier, I dropped a little bit of tidbit of information. His only collegiate home run in his career was off of Bailey Wimberly, a starter from Memphis. Pitch in there for a called strike. I've yet to talk to either Norby or Wimberly about if they know that that is true. They know who they gave up the home run to, or in Norby's case, who they hit the home run off of. This one fouled away down the right field line. Ooh! just barely sails over a kid's head that is not paying attention down there. You know, we see a lot of people getting hit with balls now in the major leagues, and, you know, to a certain extent, you got to pay attention. But then we also saw one where it happened there in Houston on the Cubs game. That pitch misses outside, almost called strike 3 off of the bat of Albert Amora Jr. that hit a little girl. And that's just a situation where you needed to have the netting out a little bit further. I'm a proponent of extending the netting. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away. Here's the pitch. On the ground to shortstop. The throw across the diamond is in time. The Rebels have swept the Waynesboro Generals. 2-1 your final score. The save is picked up by Austin Elliott. The offense just really never could get going. And that 6-3 putout will finish this ball game. Finalize that.
Generals are off tomorrow night.
And we'll have a conversation with Coach Zach Cole. We'll have to see how he feels about it. I'm sure he's coming up, and he said that he was good for it in between the games. So, as we mentioned, winning pitcher is Gregory Strickland. Losing pitcher is Zach Kirby. And the save goes to Austin Elliott. Well, the win takes the Newmarket Rebels to that 6-7 mark we were talking about just a little bit ago. The loss takes the Waynesboro Generals to 6-5. That Southern Division has a couple of front runners to this point. And we're going to take a small break before going to Coach Cole's interview.
So at Sheets, we really exist to make people's lives easier every day. In this moment, we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to connect with some of our lucky fans to help make their dreams come true. How are you? I'm Ryan Sheets. Here's a brand new truck for you, man. A once-in-a-lifetime dream vacation to Turks and Caicos. Have you ever been there?
No, I've never been anywhere.
A check for $25,000.
This is a testament to why everybody should be a Sheets freak.
All right, back here in Waynesboro after the 2-1 loss in the nightcap of the doubleheader. Here with head coach Zach Cole. And coach, we'll talk about the first game first, and just a game where I feel like we put a few hits out there. I mean, we had 6 hits in those 7 at bats, but we just couldn't really string anything together. We got something there together at the end, but couldn't quite get over the hump. And and struck out with the bases loaded there and 2 outs to finish that ball game. What was your overall feeling of that first game?
You know, their starter did a really good job of changing speeds. He threw his breaking ball for a strike. He got into a little bit of a rhythm where he was throwing his fastball in there and getting ahead and then spinning that breaking ball in there. And we told our guys that's what we were seeing. He just did a good job of locating those 2 pitches, and we kind of knew what was coming and couldn't do much with it. So tip of your cap to their starter. I know we got a couple runs on him there at the end when he made the error on the bunt, but right. It's a little bit frustrated offensively, just not being able to string anything together. That was kind of the theme of both games, but definitely in the first game, we had some opportunities to score, and weren't able to come through. Kind of the one bright spot in the whole day, but definitely in the first game, Christian Prophet, down in the 9 hole was 2 for 3 and flipped that order over a couple of times and gave us a chance right there. And, I was proud of our guys, though, in the first game of giving ourselves a chance in the 9th. We had the bases loaded with 2 outs, and you got the tying run on 3rd and the winning run on 2nd. So, you want your guys to be competitive and give themselves a chance to win, and we did that. And obviously, disappointed we weren't able to come through. But, we put ourselves in a situation.
Yeah, and you mentioned some of there were bright spots of that first ball game. Bryson Worrell gets his first home run in the Generals uniform. That ball was smoked. Yep. You guys were talking about how impressive he is, and probably a future draft pick.
Sure.
Talk about what it's like to be able to plug him into the lineup.
Yeah, no, he's a really impressive guy. Those guys over East Carolina have taken care of me and my coaching career, sent a bunch of guys to me, and he's another one that's just really talented kid. He looks the part. He's impressive in a uniform, and we're really glad to have him in that first game. He ran into that ball. In his BP, when he hits them, they leave the yard really quick. Like you can't even get your head turned around in time to see where they land. So, we're excited. He's a guy that should be an imposing figure in the middle of the order just because of what he looks like physically. But then when you see him swing, man, it's really good. So, that was another bright spot that you mentioned, him hitting that home run and had a couple of good at-bats on top of that as well.
Joe Acosta with 8 strikeouts in his 3 innings of relief there. He was nasty, electric stuff.
Yeah, no, Joe's a guy that his pitching coach in college is a really good friend of mine, and he was really high on Joe, just the kind of stuff he had. I thought he was another future pro guy. He's got that sinking fastball that sits in the low 90s, and you could see it today. He was just giving those guys fits. What's really impressive, over 3 innings he had 0 walks. When you're filling the zone up with that kind of stuff, you see the results. I think the 2 hits were both. I think one of them might have been a hard hit kind of ground ball that went through the middle, but the other one was kind of just a soft one. So, he was really, really good. But in overall, 7 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, 4 walks. Obviously the walk number, I'd like to see that be 1 or 2, but right. It's still within the realm of reason right there. The thing that killed us in the first game is we didn't control the running game. They put
stolen bases.
They put on a clinic in the first couple innings until we kind of settled down and made an adjustment. To try to slow them down. So kudos to those guys for having a game plan and being able to come in and execute it.
Yeah, and they kind of executed that in the second game as well. You guys shut it down a little bit later as it went on. I think part of it shutting down was you guys getting those guys out so often. You only gave up 2 hits. I feel like all day today, really, you got to be happy from what you saw from your pitching staff.
No, I was definitely pleased with the pitching staff. We said in the first game we had 10 strikeouts, second game 8 strikeouts, so we threw 14 innings and struck out 18 guys. And only sacrificed 11 hits.
Right.
So that's a pretty good recipe for success. And definitely, today's 2 losses. You hate to break it down. Well, it was somebody's fault or somebody else's fault, but it definitely wasn't something that the pitchers you could point a finger at them. They definitely did a good job for us tonight.
Right. Yeah. And then you got. I felt a lot of the problem also was that we struggled to get that leadoff runner on.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we try to start rallies, it's like with 1 or 2 outs, and sometimes it just ends up becoming a moot point. The one time that we did get the leadoff runner on tonight was a leadoff double by Jack Murphy from St. Mary's, and so we ended up coming around to score on that one. It's just what do we got to do better on the offensive side of things to really get things going early in innings.
Well, let me say that real quick. Jack had a really good second game. I think he had a couple 2 balls really hard that got caught, and had the double. But to answer your question, we challenged our guys about hard barrel contact and being better in advantage counts. And I think what you saw today was, and I'll credit Newmarket big time for this. They threw off-speed pitches in the strike zone, and we didn't do a very good job with that. So that's something we're going to talk to our guys about going forward. We've got to do a better job of handling off-speed pitches and hitting those. I hear so many hitting coaches talk about, hunting the fastball. Well, of course, everybody wants to hit a fastball, but if you can't hit a breaking ball, you're going to be in trouble because you're going to get them all the time. So we've got to make an adjustment, be able to, put good swings on those breaking balls when we get them early in the count, and and do a better job on that end. But we're capable. That's not the issue. Now we got to find a way to find that consistency. We've been kind of a boom or bust team so far. We'll come out and score 10 or 12, 11, 8 runs, and then come out like today and struggle with running scoring position. So, whether it's a focus thing or whether it's, some adjustments we need to make, we're going to do everything we can to figure it out and try to find some consistency. Hopefully we can get on a stretch of playing some games. I've complained about that a couple of times now. Probably, everybody's sick of hearing me say that, but I just want us to go on a streak of playing for like a week or so, so we can kind of get in a routine and kind of get something going. I feel like, another off day tomorrow, so we'll take advantage of the rest, but I'm kind of ready to get on a streak and play every day and just kind of be on the baseball field every single day and work.
All right, Coach. Well, I appreciate the time.
Yep.
And I'll see you guys again on Tuesday when we hit the road and go up to Purcellville.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we'll be up. We'll be in Northern Virginia. We'll take another short break, and we'll be right back to break things down here from Integrity Home Mortgage Park at Kate Collins Field. Thanks, Coach.
So at Sheets, we really exist to make people's lives easier every day. In this moment, we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to connect with some of our lucky fans to help make their dreams come true. How are you? I'm Ryan Sheets. Here's a brand new truck for you, man. A once-in-a-lifetime dream vacation to Turks and Caicos. Have you ever been there?
I've never been anywhere.
A check for $25,000.
This is a testament to why everybody should be a Sheets freak.
Unfortunately, there you see it. 2-1 your final score here in the nightcap of the doubleheader, where the Generals lose both games. They lost the first ball game 5-4 and the second ball game 2-1. But that really was a part of us not being able to string hits together. You heard Coach Cole talk about it. He was really happy with the pitching staff and what they did today. And it's just one of those days where the offense was a little bit slow. So those things will pick up, and hopefully we can get it back on track on Tuesday when we head up to Purcellville. And we hit the road for a little while as well. On Tuesday we go to Purcellville, as we mentioned. Wednesday we're on the road at Woodstock, and we're not home again until Thursday when we take on the Stanton Braves, a team that we just beat 13-5 last night. So that's the next home broadcast to look for, is on Thursday the 20th. But that does it for the Waynesboro Generals. On behalf of the Valley Baseball League and the Generals, we want to thank you for joining us tonight.
Well, that wraps up all the action from here tonight. I'm Graham Knight, and on behalf of the Valley Baseball League, we want to thank our sponsors. This live stream was made possible by Sheets. Sheets is perfect for busy lifestyles, and they're always open 24/7. So grab breakfast, dinner on the go, or a late night snack. With nearly 600 stores in 6 states, there's always a Sheets near you. Sheets, run and done. This live stream is also brought to you by Subway. Check out Subway's delicious new club collection, the new Steak Club, new Southwest Chicken Club, and the American Club. Subway, make it what you want. This live stream is also brought to you by Grace Burrows, best-selling New York Times author. If you can't find romance on the baseball diamond, take a look at graceburrows.com. Grace Burrows, she believes in love and baseball. Before we say goodnight, I want to remind you that this live stream is copywritten by the Valley Baseball League and may not be used in any form of media whatsoever without the express written consent of the Valley Baseball League. If you'd like to use our media, please contact me, Graham, at isomermedia.com. That's Graham, Graham, at Isomer, ISOMERMEDIA. From all of us at the Valley Baseball League, thank you for watching, and good night.